Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in over 1,200 locations across the United States. We're now available in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio, and Texas. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, enter your city or zip, and find the nearest location closest to you. Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin' Bros, kids. Usually on these Friday shows that air on Sunday, we're drinking, but not today, friends. Up late last night, watching the debate. Thanks to everybody who tuned in live on Patreon with us. We greatly appreciate it. Felt like we were at somebody's funeral last night. D'Anthony? Yeah. R.I.P. Joseph Robinette Biden. Rest in peace, friend. You got killed by your own party. Got absolutely fucking buried by your own party. I don't think I've seen an entire party turn on a candidate like that within 15 seconds after it was over.
I mean, it only looks fast because you're assuming that it started then.
How would I be incorrect, I guess, in that assessment?
CNN wrote an article last year in September, I think, about they should replace Biden. So it's not new.
But I think it was an op-ed piece where they floated it. Up until then, every other anchor on MSNBC, CNN, every other news station is like, he's fine. He's great. He's the sharpest he's ever been.
People said that, but there was a CNN article, and it wasn't an op-ed. It was by one of their primary authors, and I think it was in September. I'll find it.
Yeah, pull it up. I'd be curious to see it. In the meantime, Bob, why don't you pull up that video from Joe Scarborough from this morning? This was one of my favorites here because this is what we were being fed over and over and over again. You can go ahead and play that.
I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. This is a battle for the future of American democracy. And now is a good time. In June, thank God, in June, and not October, in June, this is the last chance for Democrats to decide whether this man we've known and loved for a very long time is up to the task.
What changed, Joe? What changed? That was in March. The video they played right on the left that Bob just played was in March. 3 months later, here we are. Now you've got to switch and get away from the guy that you said, oh, he's there. He's the sharpest he's ever been. He's fucking doing mental gymnastics over people.
These Democrats could be contenders for their party's nomination in 2028, but first they must boost Biden in 2024. That is a new headline for this article. The original headline, thanks to the Wayback Machine, which is also always a useful tool, is quite a bit different. It's about these guys could be replacements for Biden. So they've changed the title, which is pretty funny.
Okay,
actually.
yeah, and now they've changed their tune here all the way around. Obviously, last night we played CNN. They were just giving eulogy after eulogy after eulogy over there. I don't know what they do. Like, everybody's in a panic mode. Pull up Drudge right now. What does Drudge Report say on their headline there? Because last night they were all in of like, oh my God, panic. We gotta figure it out. What is it? Cruel Jill clings to power. Is that what it is? Is it Jill Biden that's doing this?
I mean, she's the one that's running him out there. So yeah.
That's what it feels like. What else? Operation Replace Biden. Dems scramble with 130 days to go.
I guess
debate catastrophe.
The question is, who's telling her to do it? Because it's not her. It's fucking Obama and the DNC.
But if it is Obama and the DNC, then they're going to have to figure it out. The problem is today, I've watched every talking head there is. The replacements aren't great. Gavin Newsom is who they're spitting out. A lot of people are spitting out today. Look, coming from California and living there for 15 years, I can tell you he's the worst goddamn governor that I've lived under in any one of these fucking states. I've lived in Georgia, I've lived in Ohio, I've lived in New York, I've lived in California, I've lived in Texas. Gavin Newsom is the worst fucking governor of all time. And he's going to get bailed out by the Supreme Court decision today, which we'll talk about in a bit, but regarding the homelessness, but he's fucking awful. He looks like the politician you want, you hope for, and that you dream about. However, his policies are the fucking worst. If you're willing to drive the biggest state in the nation into the fucking toilet, why wouldn't he do it for the rest of the United States? So that's an awful decision. And then who would his VP be? A lot of people have pitched Buttigieg today. Swear to God. That's like the ticket that everybody is wants on the Democratic side now.
So it's just the two most incompetent people possible.
But looks-wise, they have the looks of what a dream politician would be. If you fed it into a Democratic AI machine, it would spit out those two faces and bodies. And plus, you got a gay one in there who's willing to take 6 months off for breastfeeding or whatever the fuck he was doing as Secretary of Transportation. And that's the two guys you want to trot out? Not a prayer. Also, at 129 days left, and next week's a holiday, nobody's doing shit next week. You don't have fucking time for this.
Oh, sorry, I was wrong. It started in 2021.
And who said that?
Chris Cillizza.
Okay.
Cillizza, excuse me.
Cillizza. And what did he say?
He's, I would say, on the A- team. He's not a B team guy, but he's not one of the main hosts. But he's a primary guy at CNN. And he wrote an article called the 11 Democrats who could replace Joe Biden in 2024.
In 2024.
And he wrote this.
Then we should give Cillizza credit, because that's the only one who's ever said it. The rest of these fuckers, no, man, he's awesome, and he's sharp and fit, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, did you play the Joe Scarborough video?
I just did, yeah.
And what has he said anything since then?
Yeah, we just played the video.
Yeah, the video was, the first part was him.
Oh, I didn't
from
see the
March.
second part
The
of it.
second part was him, like this morning.
Yeah.
This morning, he was like, we got to do something or we're all going to die.
So it's been interesting to see how it's all unfolded, because there are still people, not serious people, right? But lefties are still out there defending him. Like Mark Hamill is like, oh, he still looks good to me.
From Star Wars?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And then Mark Cuban, a lot of Marks. Mark Cuban, you can go to his Twitter and see what he had to say as well today. But it's like, man, I don't understand how you can look at Biden, what he did last night, and still vote for him. Vote for Kennedy, don't vote Jill Stein, whatever. But there's no way you can vote for Biden, man.
So, Delco, the odds for Newsom last night, because you read them on air, had dropped to 14-1 last night. This morning, they're now down to 4-1 on mybookie.com. 4-1 for Newsom. Trump is minus 250 right now. Biden's, plus 225 at this point. And everybody went all in, including Anderson Cooper. Bob, go to Twitter and play that clip with him interviewing Kamala Harris last night. Anderson Cooper was not having the bullshit last night, and let her know it. And I'm shocked that he did this live on air, because it was about 11:30 last night.
Freeze it right there. Can you? This is a video, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really zoom in. Put that camera real close to, or the phone or whatever you're on, real close to your face, and look at Kamala Harris's cheekbones. Mm-hmm. This is what's called Ozempic face. That's what happens to somebody's face when they're on Ozempic.
She looks great.
No, she doesn't.
She looks
like a fucking
better.
skeleton.
She looks better than she has. I'll say that.
She looks very unhealthy.
Play the video.
John King has described a panic inside the Democratic Party right now because of President Biden's performance in tonight's debate. He's been hearing from Democratic lawmakers and others around the country. Some within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside. What do you say to that?
Listen, first of all, what we saw tonight is the president making a very clear contrast with Donald Trump on all of the issues that matter to the American people. Yes, there was a slow start, but it was a strong finish. And what became very clear through the course of the night is that Joe Biden is fighting on behalf of the American people, on substance, on policy, on performance. Joe Biden is extraordinarily strong. And
but I'm sorry,
that
on
cannot
substance
be
and
debated.
policy and performance tonight, I mean, the president's performance tonight clearly was disappointing for his supporters. CNN is reporting Democratic lawmakers watching the debate were worried about the president's performance. One said it was a disaster. Another called it a train wreck. Those are Democrats especially worried that Biden did not punch back on Trump's lies.
Listen, people can debate on style points, but ultimately this election and who is the president of the United States has to be about substance. And the contrast is clear. Look at what happened during the course of the debate. Donald Trump lied over and over and over again, as he is wont to do. He would not disavow what happened on January 6th. He would not give a clear answer on whether he would stand by the election results this November. He went back and forth about where he stands on one of the most critical issues of freedom in America, which is the right of a woman to make decisions about their own body. He has been completely ambiguous and all over the place about where he stands on that issue, despite the fact that he hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and that's exactly what they did. And just 3 years ago, we commemorated the 2-year anniversary of Dobbs, wherein women across our country have been denied emergency health care,
All that may be
suffered
true.
miscarriages
All that may
to the
be
point
true.
that
But the president of the
these
United
facts are
States
very
was not
important.
able to make that case to Donald Trump on the stage tonight. I mean, you debated against then Vice President Vice President Biden 4 years ago, and he was a very different person on the stage 4 years ago when you debated him. You must, I mean, that's certainly true, is it not?
Anderson, the point has to be performance in terms of what a president does. A president who incites an insurrection against the Capitol. No, but I got the point that you're making about a 1.5-hour debate tonight. I'm talking about 3.5 years of performance in work that has been historic.
But
whether
is that
it be
the man who we
the
saw
former
on the
guy,
stage
the other
tonight,
guy,
is that
the other
person
guy
you
on
see
the
in
debate
meetings every day?
stage? The person that you saw on the debate stage that has, for the last 3.5 years, up until today, performed in a way that has been about, whether it be in the Oval Office, negotiating bipartisan deals so that we have an infrastructure, a real infrastructure plan where we're putting trillions of dollars on the streets of America to upgrade our infrastructure. Whether it be the person I see in the Oval Office who is meeting with heads of the military and the intelligence community and in the Situation Room, ensuring the safety of America. The person I see in Joe Biden on the world stage, convening world leaders who often ask for his advice, most recently just during the G7 conference. So I'm not going to spend all night with you talking about the last 90 minutes when I've been watching the last 3.5 years of performance.
But this was a debate that your campaign wanted. You pushed for this debate at this moment.
I mean, he's relentless.
I mean, you can't honestly say, I mean, can you say that you are not concerned at all having watched the president's performance tonight?
It was a slow start. That's obvious to everyone. I'm not going to debate that point.
So,
Mother of God, Bob, I just sent you an email with the greatest hits from Kamala Harris. By the way, we'll watch it here in a few minutes. Just because it's fun, but
so when she was trending last night, I was unaware because we were on air and then we had switched off. I was unaware that Anderson Cooper got her live at 11:30 p.m. last night because it was East Coast time. We're in Central, obviously, and it appeared to me that she was not expecting him to go this fucking hard immediately after the debate ended, and then she got caught. And then immediately afterwards, Twitter was flooded with, well, shit, if he's out, we can't have her in there because she would get trounced. And that's why everybody's trying to flip over to Newsom or somebody else. People are asking for Michelle Obama to run here in the last 129 days. I don't know that that's a fucking possibility. The other thing that we missed last night, and Bob, you can go to the next clip here on Twitter that I sent you, was Joe Biden getting off the stage. So we had popped out after that. We did. Okay. Show that one more time for the audience here because we're on YouTube today.
The first debate of the 2024 campaign and the earliest presidential debate ever now in the books and in front of the voters. Tonight, along with Aaron Burnett, the first word on what those voters might make of it from our political professionals, from our CNN.
So she's walking him off the stage there. He's barely able to move down 3 fucking steps without her. And after that went viral last night into this morning, that's when you're getting all the Jill Biden is cruel and she's clinging on to power. And all that other shit.
Well, it's worse because he went to a party to celebrate his performance right afterwards.
And that'll be in this next video here.
This is rough, man.
Yes. So you can play that.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do?
Oh, God.
Look at him just standing back there.
Yes. Joe, you did.
So it feels like a mom who's going to see their kid in a 4th grade spelling bee.
No.
You did such a great job.
It feels like a mom standing at the finish line of a Special Olympics race.
You know my favorite one.
Just waiting to give Chippy the bit.
Yeah.
Just waiting to give Chippy the bit. This whole time I didn't know it, but Chippy turns out to be the president of the goddamn United States of America.
Yeah. Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Which begs, like, this is all fucking funny, I guess, until you read the international news about...
Yeah, well, so that I didn't take a peek at because I watched everything else last night. I avoided Fox because I knew it was just going to be a part. Hannity apparently was cracking champagne and shit, and they were raging.
Yeah. I don't pay any attention to conservatives, but Chinese media was like just talking about how hilarious it was because he's brain dead, completely brain dead. They were making fun of the golf exchange, which was pretty funny.
Yep.
Now the European world, our allies, were like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, what?
Yep.
That was their response.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on here? They got to get this guy out of here. That was the European response. Which, it kind of begs the question, who exactly has been president for the last 3.5 years? Because it's obviously not him. He's obviously not in charge. He can't even handle speaking at his own event. So he's definitely not giving commands to people. The only person authorized, for example, to give non-congressional authority for military action outside of a declared war is the President of the United States. He's the only person in the entire country that has the authority to do that. Mm-hmm. And it's happened multiple times, right?
Yeah.
We've had incursions. We had a dust up down in Sudan, as a matter of fact. Who gave the order? It wasn't him.
I don't know.
Like, this guy doesn't have the mental faculties to give an order. So who was it exactly? We are experiencing a legitimate constitutional crisis right now. And I'm not sure that the 25th Amendment doesn't get invoked sometime soon.
To get him out of there?
Yes.
Would the Democrats have to do that? Because they've got the
Congress
Senate.
could do it.
Congress could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would, though. Why, if you're the Republicans in Congress, you've won. In my opinion, let him go.
For the country. Who fucking cares about winning elections if this guy stays in, if whomever is operating him stays in power? Because look how it's worked out before. Who fucking cares about winning elections?
Well, you're down to 3 months at this point. So what's the worst that can happen in 3 months?
I don't know. What's the worst that can happen in 3 years?
Well, it's already been shit.
Our country's been fucked over entirely in 3 years. He can completely open the border up anytime he wants. There's a lot of bad shit that can still happen. There's no fucking way we should let this guy stay in the office. Now, again, we talked about this last night, but the real problem is Kamala Harris. She's unelectable.
Correct.
So she's also a DEI hire, which means you have to have another DEI hire to replace her. And it ain't going to be Pete Buttigieg. That ain't going to work.
But he's gay.
Michelle Obama is the only person that would work. No, nobody cares about that gay shit anymore.
Okay.
Michelle Obama is the only person that would work, and only as president. She's not going to be somebody's vice president.
No, I agree.
And it's not happening.
I don't think it's happening either,
I don't believe the whole dust up about she's mad about how Hunter's ex was treated. That's bullshit. She's not campaigning because she hates politics and doesn't want anything to fucking do with it, which she said multiple times, like dozens of times over the last 3 years.
Well, she was caught on a hot mic in France saying she fucking hated it back when she was when Obama was in office years ago. Now play the next video I sent you, Bob. This one's from Vivek from 8 months ago. And this one right here, he was the only one to call this and finish off the debate with this.
I also want to close with one message to the Democrat Party. End this farce that Joe Biden is going to be your nominee. We know he's not even the president of the United States. He's a puppet for the managerial class. So have the guts to step up and be honest about who you're actually going to put up so we can have an honest debate. Biden should step aside, end his candidacy now so we can see whether it's Newsom or Michelle Obama or whoever else. All right, just tell us the truth so we can have an honest debate.
That's how he closed out his final debate 8 months ago. And he was right.
Here's a tweet from Biden earlier today.
Okay.
Folks, I might not walk as easily or talk as smoothly as I used to. I might not debate as well as I used to. But what I do know is how to tell the truth. I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. Like, you shouldn't be paraphrasing Forrest fucking Gump when you're on the campaign trail. I feel like that's a universal standard.
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. Jill does look like an older Jenny without AIDS.
You don't know she doesn't have AIDS. They're rich.
That's true.
And she's just as big a piece of shit as Jenny was.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, can you imagine? I think most people have had some experience, either up close or third party, with Alzheimer's disease or dementia of some sort, right? Mm-hmm. Like, my ex's grandfather went through it. It was a grandmother and then grandfather afterwards. It was super sad. Like, this poor woman ended her life in a nursing home, just like holding a baby doll, like a fake baby, in her hand, because she had been transported back to her early years, right? That's where her brain, like, it deteriorated so bad. That's where she was. Now imagine taking somebody like that and putting them out into the public sphere every fucking day for years, just so you can do whatever you got to do, whatever power you think you're grabbing from that. And she's not a real doctor, let's be frank about that, but she's an adult human being with basic human intelligence. She was able to complete a doctoral program. She's not stupid. She knows exactly what's going on, and she's doing it anyways. Like, that's the biggest piece of shit in the world. You should, if you're married, you should ask your partner right now, hey, would you do that to me? And if they say yes, end the relationship right now. Because that person is a piece of shit.
It's funny, man. When I went home, I was talking to my wife last night about it. She was like...
She's itching for a reason to kill you, though.
Yeah, but she was... But even when, like, go back to when I was in the hospital. She was like, hey, dude, we didn't post anything. We didn't do any of that Jeremy Renner bullshit. Nothing. Like, show goes on, life goes on, and you don't want people to see you like that.
Yeah.
And
well,
same
she
with
was hovering over
Jill
that.
Biden.
She was hovering over that plug.
Oh,
just
probably.
waiting. Like, you fucking blinked the wrong way. She's like...
money. So much money in life insurance.
She keeps. Remember the first Austin Powers where he keeps falling over homegirl? She kept tripping over the cable, and the doctor's like, "Hey, lady, come on.
Yeah,
it can't be so obvious." No, I mean, if your loved one would do something like this to you, they don't give two fucks about you.
I agree. Now, Obama just put up a tweet, Bob. If you want to pull up his account, I'll read it aloud here. This was 50 minutes ago. Bad debate nights happen, trust me, I know. But this election is still a choice between someone who has fought for ordinary folks his entire life and someone who only cares about himself. Between someone who tells the truth, who knows right from wrong, and will give it to American people straight, and someone who lies through his teeth for his own benefit. Last night didn't change that, and that's why so much is at stake in November. JoeBiden.com.
Cool.
Why would you do that?
Here's the problem with all of this, like, ephemeral talk about these two. This abstractions that the left is trying to pull right now. Well, Joe Biden's a good man. He's just slowed down a little bit. And Trump's obviously a bad man. Nobody fucking cares about that shit.
No.
We have two people, both of whom have served presidential terms. Biden's isn't complete yet, but we've got a pretty good sense of how he fucking gets down. And the results are in, and they're conclusive. Mm-hmm. One is clearly better than the other. It's not even fucking close. So it just, that to me seems like the wrong argument, but maybe it's just the last argument they have because they can't debate the facts. You know what I mean? It's like they're still talking about Charlottesville.
Yep. I don't even remember what year that was, do you?
2017.
Okay.
They're still talking about that, even though the leftist of lefties have to admit now that it was a lie. That's still one of their talking points. Mm-hmm. So it's like maybe they're just grasping at this point. Man, they should hire Vivek as a consultant. If they had taken his advice a year ago, they'd probably be in much better shape now.
Part of me wonders if it really isn't him and he wants to fucking do it because it just doesn't make any sense. And now you're stuck.
Well, the word on the street is that he's super stubborn and doesn't want to leave.
Right, that's what I've heard too. So
like fuck him.
I get it.
Like the DNC controls everything. The president. This isn't a parliamentary system where you elect a leader and they're in charge until you elect a new leader. That's not how this works. It's an open primary essentially. Anytime you want it to be. They control. They literally. There's no laws about this stuff. The Democratic Party can rig or gerrymander, or do whatever they want to get the nominee that they want. They're completely entitled to do that. And right now, they would be like the DNC chair would be completely within their rights to come out with, the Democratic leadership and say Biden is not going to be our fucking president. Sorry, bud. Right. So I don't know. Obviously, they don't want to do that because the House divided and all that bullshit. But they have the ability to do it at least.
Yeah, Time Magazine actually did an article on it this morning that said, "Can Joe Biden be replaced as the nominee? Here's how it could happen."
It's not complicated. You just vote for somebody else at the convention.
Well, here's what they're saying: Biden could withdraw before the race before he's formally nominated. You think that'll happen? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Biden rejects the virtual nomination. I don't think that'll happen, right? That's another one of the options.
I mean, they may work out a deal where they say, "Hey, we're only going to nominate you if you say no, and if you say yes, then we're going to pull it, make you look like an asshole." So, maybe.
Because it says here that there is a quirk in an Ohio law which had required all candidates to be legally certified by August 7th, more than a week ahead of Biden's scheduled nomination at the convention that opens in Chicago on August 19th. That's late. That's a late convention. Republicans is in July. It's a full month before, pretty much.
Yeah, I think Republicans is always in July.
Okay. Next up, delegates have second thoughts about Biden before the nomination. So out of the pledged delegates that they have here, he's got 3,937.
And they can change that. You can change your vote once you go to a convention. So that pledged means what it means, pledged. Like if we do a fundraiser and people pledge $1 billion and they don't actually pay us anything, then we get shit, right? Mm-hmm. That's how that works. So pledge doesn't actually mean anything.
But they're saying here, on paper, the math remains in Biden's favor if he continues to want the nomination, absent Biden releasing the pledged delegates and state rules allowing such flexibility. They're with Biden through at least the first round of balloting.
That's right.
Okay.
And then everybody else can abstain. If he doesn't hit the minimum number, they just hold another vote. It's none of these things are an impossibility.
And so they're saying there are still ways for delegates to essentially stage a revolt. This is where convention chair Minion Moore, it's a fun name, comes in. Under DNC rules, a ruling from the chair can shut down almost anything. Bypassing the rulings of the convention chair would require 25% of the delegates demanding a roll call vote. Okay. Biden decides, here's the next option, Biden decides after the convention that he has second thoughts. I think that's way too late.
I don't know that he's had first thoughts. So I wouldn't count on second ones, Jesus.
Now, they're saying, according to Time Magazine, that this would actually be the cleanest scenario in terms of the process, is that he has second thoughts after the convention and they can pick whoever at that point. But to me, if your convention is August 19th, you would be roughly 90 days away from the election at that point. There's no fucking way. There's just no way for a brand new candidate to hop in there. The money that would require, and then the advertising, and then the fucking rallies and all that other shit, that's just not enough time. Maybe on name and name alone, but it would have to be Michelle Obama at that point.
Yeah, I mean, again, my position on this has always been that I think they're going to punt on this election.
And so they're going to leave him in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, think of it from this perspective. People are like, why would you cede power when you have it? Well, think about a military operation where you attack and retreat, the Fabian strategy, right? You attack and retreat to interrupt your enemy's supply lines. You interrupt their logistics, which supply lines, but you interrupt their strategy most of all, right? If let's say like you're facing a Greek or Roman phalanx, which is a bunch of big shields with guys that had swords and then spears behind them, right? So they're pushing forward and stabbing and all this shit. You can't just charge headlong into them. Even with cavalry, it didn't really work that well to charge headlong into them. So this Fabian dude would just retreat all over the place and then attack in secret. So it's not like outside of the realm of possibility politically to do the exact same thing. To fuck shit up as hard as you can for a couple of years and then retreat a little bit and then let Trump suffer the consequences of all that, like a fucked up economy for the next 4 years if he can't fix it, right? Then they easily win in 28. If Trump wins this year and the economy doesn't get markedly better, then the Republicans will lose in 28. Doesn't matter who runs, right? And which means Newsom is in charge at that point, probably for 8 years, because then they'll use the voting apparatus to keep him in power. So I think they're punting this year.
And the last option here for Time Magazine says Biden wins his second term, not likely, but decides to step down or becomes otherwise incapacitated before Inauguration Day. Jesus Christ.
I mean,
that's
there's
dark.
no
Time Magazine.
fucking way he makes it another 4 years.
Alive?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Now, I want to bring up a possibility that a lot of people aren't talking about. And that's that Jimmy Carter has 4 more years left, okay?
He doesn't have 4 more years on this earth.
He sure does, Bob.
He does have 4 years of eligibility, though.
He's got 4 years of eligibility. Pull up a picture of Jimmy Carter, Bob.
I'm just glad you're on our side.
I'm coming over now.
I mean, this doesn't go out for another couple of days, so like the fact that you're going out on this ledge means you think Jimmy's going to survive the weekend.
Even that's in question because he apparently doesn't even wake up every day.
Doesn't matter. Look at him.
Doesn't need to.
No, doesn't need to. That guy could run the country better than Joe Biden right now.
Well,
and I say put him in. He's got 4 more years left.
You're not really saying anything.
Me?
Yeah, like he can run the country better than Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not running the country.
That would be his inauguration speech.
What do you think the chances are, and bear with me here because this is going to get graphic, but what do you think the chances are that Joe got home and just fucked Jill up? Just like tore that pussy to pieces.
Oh, actually had sex with her?
Yeah, like fucked her up big time.
None.
What do you mean none?
Absolutely none.
Oh,
He's exhausted.
He was pumped full of drugs. He definitely had some Viagra in there.
No. Did you guys see him at Waffle House stumbling around?
Vascular. He was up till 2 a.m. He's definitely fucking.
What are the chances they did anal?
Oh God. Now that we've gone dark here.
I don't know any old ladies. So it
gets anal. I don't know what law you would want to call it, but the likelihood of doing anal increases as you age.
What makes you think that?
Just everything I've heard. People who bang old ladies, people who bang 50-year-olds.
Where is? Can you get Giorgio on the phone?
I know. I actually talked to Giorgio about this one time. Dead serious.
Yeah.
He said once you hit a certain age, depending upon divorce, kids, everything else, you're just looking to try new shit just to fucking do it.
Yeah. Every MILF, every 50+ story I've ever heard involves an asshole getting penetrated.
Every home is essentially just a fuck palace.
Yeah. And every kiss begins with K. Mm-hmm. And if you find the right one, then boom, you can pop a ring on it at the end and then do some weird shit.
So if your grandparents right now are in a home, they're probably fucking.
Probably having sex right now. Luckily, I don't have that, so I don't have to have that thought.
But it does go back. It does go back down, right? There's a bell curve to it. It's a late bell curve, but it rises really high. But then once you get into the leak stage of your life, it falls off a cliff.
Yeah. I feel like women stave off the leaking longer than men do because of the prostate, right? The prostate adds additional complications in our buttholes.
They last longer. But then when you get to Jimmy's age, then you get back to fucking.
That's true.
Man, come on now.
Yeah. Jimmy's getting head. Jimmy's getting head.
For real, if you had to guess, Delco, and you're the kind of guy that bets your mortgage payment on things. If you had to bet your mortgage payment on the last time Jimmy Carter ejaculated, how long would you say that was in months? Well, let's go years and months.
3 months.
This morning.
Yeah, so what time is it in Georgia? 3:45.
Yeah,
He's popping off left and right.
Probably 20 minutes ago.
Man, look at his fucking face. There is no semen. Like, his body doesn't have the
What are
capability
you talking
to make
about?
semen anymore.
That's an O face right there.
4 more years.
That's an oh my god.
4 more years.
That's an oh my
4 more
god.
years.
That's an oh my god. I saw the ring face. That's what that is.
He is coming in that photo.
No, he's
Yeah, he
not.
is.
He's. I guarantee you, it's been 10 or 15 years since that dude.
See that hat behind you?
Yep.
Nothing but big comes.
Big comes, dude, for Jimmy.
He's got a colostomy bag, but it's only for cum.
That might be his slogan for bumper stickers.
Big comes.
Big comes for Jimmy, dude.
Yeah.
In 24.
Come hard.
Come hard, 2024.
Look, man.
Carter.
If there's one,
Who's Carter's running mate?
If there's-
Who's he going to put on the ticket? Who would you recommend?
Lil Wayne. Just a full Carter card.
if there's one person, you know for a fact, isn't out of nuts, it's Jimmy Carter.
Can you zoom in on his face a little bit, Bob? Yeah. Yeah.
He's coming right now.
He looks like fucking Nosferatu, for Christ's sake.
So a man that lived forever?
And a vampire.
Man, that's awesome. That's fucking awesome. Carter, I like the Carter and Carter though. That would be a great ticket, Carter and Carter. Plus, you have the race. You got a black VP.
Wait, who's the other Carter? Aaron Carter? Because
No.
he's dead too.
No,
Lil
not
Wayne.
It's Lil Wayne. He wants Lil Wayne to be in there.
the
I like
fucking-
that.
Yeah, the yard sign is the Carters 2024.
Yep.
They come out to no ceilings.
Oh, it'd be great, dude. And then you got the black vote. You got the young vote. You got all the inner cities. And then you got Jimmy, big comes Jimmy there.
Well, you know, Jay-Z's name is Carter as well.
It is, but
I'm just saying he could be like the secretary of something.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. Why not?
Transportation, maybe? Who knows?
Is there a secretary of music?
No, there's not.
You should probably get one of those.
There's education. I think you could do Jay-Z doing that. And it's just all his rhymes about slang and crack rock back in the day.
Man, just the cope of liberals on this debate is the craziest shit I've ever seen.
I know.
You keep saying that. I have not seen any cope.
Okay,
I've seen
so
only panic.
Thomas Friedman, Joe Biden is. I mean, these are. I guess
I will say this: I've only seen cope from people who you expected, like PR people.
Sure, yeah.
You know what
Or
I mean?
like fucking bots, essentially.
the biggest.
Any political bot
I'll
that
tell
just
you-
tweets positive things about either Biden or Trump.
I'll tell you the biggest cope that I saw last night because I watched all of it. I was up super fucking late last night, boozing, just kind of celebrating, having fun. But it was Rachel fucking Maddow. So they went around the panel, and it was Joy Reid, who, by the way, still hates gay people and wants all of them dead. We have the Wayback Machine, Joy. She's got a shaved head now, and she's got her hair dyed blonde. So after it ended last night, and just guest after guest and panel member after panel member was just saying, it's a disaster, we got to punt, we got to fucking find a new candidate, everybody's going to die. She ran an entire fucking segment about the last 9 presidents who have had awful first debates. And I was like, what fucking world are we living in? It has nothing to do with the debate. It is him just staying alive now at this point. And she ran a fucking 4-minute segment on it, and I was shocked by it. So that Obama tweet that I read you, she actually referenced Obama last night and said that his first debate against Romney in 2012, that he got smoked, and I guess he was lazy and wasn't great in the debate, and that Romney won the debate. I don't really remember it, so maybe it is true, maybe it's not.
Romney won the first debate in 2012, and I mean that is accurate. That Romney, like everyone walked away saying Romney won the first debate in 2012, and I would say it was pretty overall the consensus in 2020 was that Trump did not win the first debate.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
And I don't remember the order of the debates in 2016 for Hillary and Trump. It wouldn't I mean, I guess.
I mean, Trump lit her up in every one of them.
But there wasn't an incumbent either. I
No,
guess,
yeah.
if that's,
No, yeah. They referenced Bush in 04 against whoever the fuck he was going against.
Bush never did good in any of the debates.
Bush was quite bad in debates, yeah. And actually, HW lost to Clinton in '92.
They brought that up as well.
Which
and so
is accurate.
She had this whole segment running, and I kept thinking to myself, yeah, the difference, though, between all of these people that you're saying and your current candidate now is they were young and alive.
Yeah, it wasn't the merits that was necessarily the issue.
No, it had nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
it was just staying alive.
Like nobody thought that it was possible that Obama wouldn't survive to see the next debate.
Right.
When he lost the first one.
There's a real possibility here. Speaking of which, does he do the next debate? Does Biden do another debate after this?
No.
They're scheduled for one.
No, I doubt it. I mean, what possible good can come from that? For fuck's sake,
none.
And
I don't see any.
I don't want there to be another one.
I would imagine that
that's horrible
Trump
for the country.
would be the one to not do a second debate, because what do you have to gain?
True, and you know it was interesting. Don Jr. of all people had a crazy tweet last night where he actually said, "You know what? I think this style of debate with all the rules that were in place, which we went over yesterday." He goes, it looks like it's actually helping my father because he's not talking over the other person. And I agree.
It did. Until he got in his own fucking way 40 minutes. And he's just talking about, like, the best water, the best air.
Yeah. Well, we knew it was coming.
Also, that part was true. Unlike a lot of the other
the best water we've ever had.
You know, Olbermann, who is a lunatic, right? He's like, he's... Keith Olbermann is like the Andy Kaufman of leftist journalism. I don't think he believes anything he's doing. He's just making money on Twitter. That's what I think.
What is his real job? What does he do?
He publishes independent media.
He doesn't have a job anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say he's out. Yeah.
But I'm sure he's making plenty of money on it because he rage farms on Twitter, right?
Oh, all day long.
Yeah. So
what did he say?
He was like, oh boy, shame on CNN for not calling them out for the lies that he told, talking about Trump and shit. It's like, well, they did. They did a segment after the debate on each candidate about the inaccuracies in their statements on Biden and on Trump. So what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I don't know. It's getting weird. It's getting weird now.
Olbermann has a radio show.
Oh, he does.
Oh, wow. Who the fuck is listening to that shit?
And where is it? Where is it?
It's Countdown with Keith Olbermann. It's on the iHeart Network.
What's the countdown to? Him blowing his fucking brains out? He's the most morose cunt of all time.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
And by the way, like a really, maybe the most, unless you're a huge Michael Jackson fan, ruined childhood memory.
Yeah.
Because he was
great on Sports Center.
GOAT Sports Center anchor. Like unquestionably.
I know. It sucks. Him and
Dan Patrick,
and then they had Stuart Scott, man. They had a fucking dream team back in the day. And then, he just turned out to be a piece of shit. One last possibility here that I want to pitch to everybody. Biden loses this election, licks his wounds, comes back in 4 years, and then reruns in 28. He'll only be 86 at that point.
Yeah.
Stronger. You know, he goes back.
He comes back as a fucking cyborg. It's just his head on top of a robot at that point. Unfortunately, his head's the problem. Here's some cope from Caitlin Collins. She posted this video of Biden today at the rally, campaign rally he did in North Carolina. Compare this President Biden to the one on stage at the debate last night. He's still slurring and shit. Mm-hmm. It's like, he's reading from a teleprompter and not getting questioned anymore.
Right.
Yeah. That's right. That's why, like, if you have some dude walk a straight line, that's one thing. If you have him go through an obstacle course, that's an entirely different thing. If the goal is just to be able to read and say out loud something on a screen in front of him without being challenged, it's not enough to be the pro. Luckily, the presidency is not very stressful, right? That was one of the things that was talked about last night by some of these coping dum-dums. It was like, oh, he just doesn't do well under stress. Like, oh, good. Good. It's not like he's got the fucking most stressful job possible, you stupid bitch. Oh my God. And then if you read in the comments after, it's like, I'm still voting for Biden. Bad night, great president. That's another fucking hashtag that's going on out there. Now, who's to say how many of these are even real people? Because Twitter does a terrible job of determining if somebody's a real person or not. But there's a lot of it going on. It's probably only on Twitter. I don't think I would love to see some evidence of this. This is the problem with political polling, is that ordinary people who have jobs, they don't pick up the phone and talk for 30 fucking minutes about how they feel about something that happened last night. A lot of people watched it. 48 million people only on CNN watched it.
Right.
So probably something like 60 to 70 million people in total watched
Well, there was 22 networks that weren't included, so God only knows. I mean, you take us. We had, I think 1,000 live viewers in Patreon at one point last night, and who knows how many other podcasts were doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's in the tens of millions, right? But I don't think, and maybe you guys, if you're a fucking middle or lefty voter or something and you're out there, maybe you can answer this differently. But if somebody called me and said, hey, I want to talk to you about the debate last night, do you have 15 or 20 minutes? I'm like, man, fuck you.
You would do it in real life.
That's how most real people
Yeah.
talk to those people. They just hang the fucking phone up or they don't answer it at all. So you never get a good read on people. I would love to figure out a way to get a good read on just the ordinary person, the Democrat who doesn't like Trump, or whatever, or maybe they're just a lifelong Democrat and they've been voting that way this whole time. And because
I had those conversations this morning.
Have they asked themselves the question, two questions. One, who the fuck has been president for the last 3.5 years? And then the second question I hope they're asking themselves is, why the fuck has the campaign, his senior staff, and the media been lying to us about his mental faculties, right? As recently as fucking last week.
Right. So I had a chat with some of my Democrat friends this morning about it, and here's what they said, and I take it for whatever it's worth. The Biden at the State of the Union address, what was it, January? Was that in January, Bob? January, February? Was definitely not the Biden we saw last night. Is it possible for somebody with vascular dementia to rapidly advance like that in the last 5 months? Sure. Maybe it is.
Yeah, but there's a reason that in 2020, everybody on the right was saying, this dude is fucked up.
I agree. Look, I'm with you. I'm just telling you what Democrats are saying. And the other part about it, just normal people. Normal people are saying the same thing of, we've got to replace him. We got to get somebody else in there. And it's just too late at this point. And that's what I said. And they were like, I know, but you got to have a chance at, I'm like, cool, man. Who is that going to be? And when is it going to happen? And then you got to convince him. Bob, I caught out of the corner of my eye. Did you have a debate up? Is Joe Biden live right now?
What? Oh,
Is he at a rally?
I had the clip Dan was talking about.
Okay, is this from
today?
Yeah.
Oh, so he actually did a rally today?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, Joe talked for 20 minutes while he stood in the background. Just like you can go on my Twitter and find that one, actually, if you want to look at it right quick before we watch his part of the speech.
Okay.
I think it's like the third thing down on my Twitter.
So they raced him out of the Jimmy. Big comes Jimmy. So they raced him out to do a rally immediately to show that he's fine, I guess.
No, it's the next one down. Sorry. It's the next. What in the fuck? There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, just put that up on there.
And this was this afternoon?
Yeah. Look at his face.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No. Look at.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I mean, god damn, dude. This is a guy that got, this is what I look like when I get way too high in public. I'm like, oh no, everybody fucking knows, dude.
When the edible kicks in?
When the edible kicks in, that's what you look like.
Damn it, man.
Holy fucking shit, look at his face.
He looks frightened. Holy shit, dude.
Oh boy. Yeah, okay. So the next video, you can just scroll up because it's the same one.
Well,
Ross
even with that, it does appear like she wants all of this shit. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't.
I haven't heard her on the stump talking at all until relatively recently.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, when it's in question that he might actually get reelected or even be able to run, she's like, "Oh shit, I better fucking."
She didn't have a choice.
Got to stand by my man.
Yeah, she didn't have a choice.
Standing by your man, by the way, will be getting him the fuck out of the public eye.
Just get him out of there and go to the beach, dude. You guys are fucking rich. Pardon your son. Go to the fucking beach. Live the last 6 months of his life.
So play this video
in a happy place.
This is the one that Caitlin, whatever the fuck her name is from CNN, showed as evidence that he's actually okay.
Let's see it.
He's can't say Roe v. Wade to begin.
Donald Trump said he thinks Roe v. Wade
God damn it.
Then he says that Bo died in war. That never happened.
I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. Because I intend to win this state in November.
And he keeps coughing.
Well, he's got a cold, remember?
I stand here today, I can honestly say I've never been more optimistic about America's future in my whole career.
And then he's just like,
there's nobody there.
Look at how young I am. Look at that. Look at how young I am. Jesus fucking
Was that
Christ.
intentional in the end?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Is that trying to prove how he's like, up, like fucking, like Buff Stewie.
Sure.
Blocking Brian's way down the stairs. Up. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Wow.
That was their evidence that he's okay. He just had a bad night.
Now, by the way, I do want to point out that there was one thing everyone called a lie last night. That could be a lie still. I don't know for sure, but I did find evidence to the contrary.
Oh, God. Is it fucking the Meek Mill thing? Because I don't know if I can handle that.
No, thank God, dude. Okay.
No. This is a Golf Digest article from 2015.
Fuck off.
Dead serious.
There's no fucking way. Find Biden swinging a golf club on Twitter right now, and you can. And Delco, as a golfer, you can tell me if that's. I know you already know the answer to it, but I just want you to analyze this golf swing.
He was a 6 handicap, which then he immediately said 8 handicap when he was vice president.
Yeah.
So he's improved 2 strokes. When you get older and you get into your 80s, does your handicap typically improve?
I think he admitted he was 8, right?
He
He said 6, and then Trump was like, "That's bullshit." He's like, "All right, fine, I was 8." So yeah, no, it's obviously bullshit.
He wasn't 8 either.
No, he wasn't that either.
No. Bob, what are you doing here? Go on Twitter and find him trying to play golf. As a matter of fact, Trump was on the course today.
Was he really?
Yeah. Here's Trump on the course today. Wait. Boom. Look at that.
Cheating his balls off.
He's cheating on everything.
What do you think of this swing here, Delco? Look at that.
I mean, it's good for an old man.
Yeah.
He's got some power.
He does. He's got a lot of junk in that trunk, as they like to say.
It's like Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. He drives the ball, like 250 still, which is, I mean, for a 70-year-old.
Average is 340, I heard. Yeah.
There's no way he's driving 340.
Yeah, he averages 340.
Trump is old as hell, too.
I know, but
he moves pretty well.
He averages 340. That's average drive.
Find me Biden. Find me Biden even 10 years ago swinging a fucking golf club. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. I don't know that I've seen Biden play golf.
But
there's a video of him. Here's
there we
one.
go. All right.
This is real. Look at this asshole.
Dude.
this is not good.
Oh, man.
I mean, he's an
It
old
looks like
man.
Charles Barkley. What are you talking about?
That's fine. He's fucking 80.
No,
He's 80.
well, yeah,
He's 81.
It's fine for 80, but what it's not is an 8 handicap. At any point in his life was he an 8 handicap?
I think you just meant to say I play like I'm
determine if
handicapped.
Somebody's an 8. He could have been an 8 handicap when he was like in his 40s.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
That was 40 years ago. So
Yeah.
who
it
knows,
was
right?
40 years ago. It was half a decade ago. Or
Ross wasn't even alive back then.
Sure wasn't. Didn't get to see his original golf swing back then. So he said his son died in the war too today?
He said that. He says that shit all the time.
God damn it, man.
He's like, a lot of people died in these wars. My son, Bo, he died. And what he means is that he got brain cancer probably from toxic exposure over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he should get a fucking Purple Heart and buried with honors, in my opinion, for that shit.
Yeah.
That's something that one of my groups is working on right now to get all that taken care of with the burn pit registry and all that shit. But you can't fucking... If you're going to talk about that kind of shit, you better be pretty precise, right? When you're invoking the honor of people that have died in combat and shit like that. By the way, go to Being Libertarian. Remember that whole dust up over Roe v. Wade? And Trump one of the things that CNN fact-checked about Trump was when he said that most legal authorities said that Roe was bad law. Here's Joe Biden saying exactly that.
Okay.
There is an overwhelming universal criticism by proponents of pro-choice and opponents of pro-choice that Roe v. Wade was not a very well-reasoned decision. Most constitutional scholars do not offer that as an example of, whether they're for or against abortion, a decision that is well-written and well-reasoned. Not the conclusion, but it's not offered as a way to write a decision.
Yeah, there you go. So exactly what Trump said.
Yeah.
Literally, exactly what Trump said. I think the best campaign strategy against Biden is just to go back to videos of him in the 70s, 80s, and 90s and say exactly what he said. Then when he calls you a liar, just show the video of him saying it. Like, seriously, just walk around with an iPad. Like, oh, good. 1 second, Joe. Beep.
Yeah.
There we go. That's you. That's you, right? You still remember that guy?
Did you hear that?
Fucking mutt.
That's what happened with the RFK Jr. debate last night?
People were like, oh, 5 million people watched. On Twitter, that means like 200,000 people watched, to be fair, right? Because they're counting impressions. Every time somebody hits refresh, that's a new view.
Okay.
They don't have the same rules that everybody else does. But good for him.
Well, here's the hilarious part about it. Did you hear how he did it? Because I remember last night I was like, who's he debating against? So what they
he paused it and then answered the questions. Under no pressure or time limit, by the way. Fuck out of here.
When a friend of mine told me that this morning, I go, what? And they're like, yeah. So after the question was asked by the moderator, they would each answer, and then he would pause it, and then he would give his own answer. And then they would go back to the next question.
I've seen a lot of people say, oh, fucking, the real winner from the debate last night was Kennedy. I'm like, no, it wasn't.
No.
Sorry.
No, it sure wasn't.
It was Jill Stein.
It was Cornel West. Give me Cornel West in there. Let's get him in there. I want to talk to you about some Supreme Court decisions that came down today. The first one is about homelessness, which is wild to me.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, I mean...
That's what Supreme Court is like, fuck them.
It did. So today's a new day. Supreme Court just gave our communities back the power to ban camping in public spaces. Homeless encampments can now be removed from streets and parks. So the fact that was ruled on by the Supreme Court now means that they can enforce it in California and everywhere else. So you're essentially forcing a shitty governor into doing what he should have done years and years and years ago.
Yeah, because he's been saying that he can't.
Right.
Which is the same thing Biden said about the border, by the way.
Which is total bullshit. Now, I don't like the fucking mayor here in Austin, but when we moved here, there's a shit ton of homeless people. They passed some bill, and then magically those fuckers were gone overnight.
They're still here.
But in the woods, so we don't have to see them.
So they're more dangerous.
I don't know. I mean, is Charlie out there in the jungle getting stronger? Is that what you're worried about?
I've seen them. They are getting stronger.
Yeah.
They have their own little communities like Mad Max in there.
That's fine, dude. The woods are wide open.
Should
you
we
want to live out in the middle of the woods? Be my
it's like
fucking guest.
It's like a clump of trees next to a neighborhood.
Should we go raid? Should we go do a raiding party on their shit? Actually, let's do a reverse raiding party. Let's show up with a bunch of shit from Target and pass it out in the middle of the night, like Santa Claus, and then just fuck off.
Or just party with them. What if we just brought a shit ton of hard AF, went out of the woods and just raged with them for one night?
If we could, I would drop. I'm not even kidding. I would drop a pallet of hard AF out there.
Same.
Where
is this place?
Like, don't litter. You keep the cans and turn them in for recycling. Don't litter. I don't like litter.
There's quite a few, but the one I know of that has like the shopping cart entrance, they have a gate.
Yeah.
That's off William Cannon and Mopac.
Oh, that's
Fuck
close.
yeah, dude.
We're at Specs and Total Wine down there off of Brody. So, yeah, dude, that's perfect. That's fucking perfect. We can go down there, rage with them, see what happens, and then, we're actually giving them money because then they can recycle the cans and get paid for it.
Yep.
So
actually, investigative journalist in Austin, this guy's pretty decent from what I've seen, called Documenting ATX. He went into Austin's worst homeless encampment today.
Oh, he did?
Oh, man, we should have sent him.
Where is this at? So this is out in the woods.
They're not gone.
They're in the woods, though. I don't have to see them, Telco. That's a different story.
Hey, announce yourself.
Look at this shit.
Holy fucking shit,
Did he say
dude.
something about announce yourself?
There's somebody there, or he said it to his other buddy to be like, "We're here, we're in here." So someone to pop out with a knife or some shit.
I know you're an outdoorsman, but it's part of the appeal of Austin is being able to go to these trails and be able to walk.
It really is.
So
and I think with this new Supreme Court decision, in all sincerity, I think you'll be able to clear all this shit out now.
So this is on the east side, just east of 35, near the Central Texas Food Bank, so probably a bit strategically.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, you build cities next to water, right?
Yeah. But here's more of the situation.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on, that's the same video.
Again, I don't have to see it, so I don't really mind it.
Here's a fun
Hey,
one.
announce yourself.
Oh, look at that. They got a noose around a teddy bear.
These places get scary.
Teddy bear with the noose? Yeah, it's
Massive camp.
What's the message they're sending? I don't really know.
love is dead.
I mean,
that was their childhood, and it was ruined.
I feel like we need to get some survival experts out here to at least teach them how to do this the right way.
What if we sent Mike Glover out there?
We could.
and just said, "Hey, let's figure this out.
I
and
feel
see
like
what happens
Mike
out there."
Mike might stumble out of that place wearing somebody's skin or something, dude. I don't know if he could tolerate that kind of bullshit.
Probably not. But again, I don't have to see these fuckers, and they were able to do it. This is a wild sitch, but with the Supreme Court ruling, they'll probably be able to get rid of all of this if they want to.
Well, I mean, so Austin already did that, right?
Yeah.
So what the Supreme Court ruled, Austin's already done. But as far as I'm aware, that doesn't mean it's going to be enforced. Like it means you can legally do it, but it doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
It
just means that Newsom can't use it as an excuse not to do it anymore.
Correct. So I would imagine all the Democratic cities that are overrun with this bullshit, their citizens will be like, "Hey, dude, you can't hide behind that law anymore. It doesn't fucking exist. So go down there and hose these fuckers off the sidewalk. Like, let's get them out of there." The other one that was passed today was the Chevron one. Do you know this one?
Yeah, so the Chevron decision, as it's called, Atlantic herring fishermen sued over federal rules requiring them to pay for independent observers to monitor their catch. The fishermen argued that the 1976 Magnuson-Stevens Fishery Conservation and Management Act, good God, did not authorize officials to create industry-funded monitoring requirements, and that the National Marine Fisheries Service failed to follow proper rulemaking procedure, meaning... So the fishermen asked the court to overturn. This is the 1976 Magnuson-Stevens Fishery Conservation and Management Act required that the fishing companies pay somebody to come watch them to make sure they're not doing bad shit.
Okay.
Essentially, which is fucked up. It's like I'm paying the cuck now.
Yeah.
It was just a way to create government jobs and steal money from people. That's all it was.
We have that. We have that in Hollywood.
Oh,
where
yeah.
we had to hire these fucking people to be on set.
The SEC does it too. Like if you're running a brokerage, you have to have one of their assholes sitting in your fucking office.
It's expensive
like,
as
fuck off,
shit.
Dude. Yeah. In two related cases, the fishermen asked the court to overturn the 40-year-old Chevron doctrine, which stems from a unanimous Supreme Court case involving the energy giant in a dispute over the Clean Air Act. The ruling said judges should defer to the executive branch when laws passed by Congress are ambiguous. Now, this is unconstitutional. I don't know how this passed the court unanimously. That's insane because it is the court's job.
The Supreme Court?
Yes, it is the court. Well, I mean, all courts, but it's the court's job to interpret law passed by Congress and say either this is unconstitutional, it's worded improperly, so we're going to strike it down until you can rewrite it again and vote on it again or whatever, right? That's the court's job only. The court, in this case, upheld the EPA ruling under Reagan, who, he had pretty good control over his court. This court is a little bit different. So with a closely divided Congress, presidential administrations have increasingly turned to federal regulation to implement policy changes. Federal regulation as in a three-letter agency changing a law, making a law without asking Congress if they should or not, or if it's even legal to do so. There have been, this is the third case now, right, that deals with this specifically. One was the bump stock case. The other, fourth, I guess, technically. So one was the bump stock case that got ruled in favor of Liberty. The other one was the pistol brace case that also got ruled in favor of the citizenry. There was the OSHA compliance vaccine mandate case in 22, I think, that Supreme Court ruled on, and now there's this one. So that's 4 times in the last 3 years that the Supreme Court has ruled that three-letter agencies don't have the right to make any kind of policy or even interpret it. Like this. So if Congress looks at, not Congress, if the ATF just decides today to look at the Second Amendment and say, well, we don't think this part of it is applicable or whatever, so we're going to make laws or we're going to make regulations, not laws, but regulations that we can still arrest and imprison you for against that. And they go to the president's like, yeah, I agree with that. AG says, yeah, okay, we're good with that too. That's not legal anymore. Now they have to go to the courts to ask permission to enforce it that way. That's the difference.
Why is the media so pissed off about this?
Because of lawfare, right? They want to be able to use the courts to punish people, not to uphold the Constitution. They want to be able to bypass Congress. When's the last time we declared a war?
Shit. I don't know.
World War II.
Okay.
How many wars have we been in since then?
30.
Korea, Vietnam.
Yeah.
We've been at, so in the 70 some years since then, we've been at war for I think 40 of them. Okay. So the majority of the time we're at war. We haven't declared a war since World War II. and that is an end around Congress. That is unconstitutional. That's not allowed, right? It's the same thing here. These people want, no matter who the Congress is, they want to get in power and then to fucking just run roughshod over the country without any fucking accountability to the other branches of government. They don't want any accountability to Congress in the form of voting on new legislation, and they don't want any accountability to the judicial branch. That's all. That's why they're mad.
Next up was a Supreme Court just ruled for a J6
By the way,
rider.
just one more addition to this is these are just some specific examples in Biden's during Biden's term where he's used new regulations to change shit. Now, all the gun ones that I mentioned before, right? The bump stock thing was technically under Trump, but the pistol brace thing, the vaccine mandate, those are both under Biden. Student loan forgiveness, that's another one that he had no constitutional authority to do. Overtime pay rules that they were going to try to pass, unconstitutional. Affordable housing rules, like to set price limits on housing and shit like that, unconstitutional. Emissions restrictions on power plants and vehicle tailpipes, also unconstitutional now, all that shit.
Really? Mm-hmm. So we don't have to go in and get those fucking checks and all that bullshit?
Only if Congress passes a law, and then if it gets challenged, it goes to the court, and they decide if it's constitutional or not. You can't just fucking have the EPA make a rule and then start charging people money or sending them to prison for it.
Thank God, dude. They also ruled today on Friday in favor of a former police officer who is seeking to throw out an obstruction charge for joining the Capitol riots. On January 6th, the justices voted 6-3 on non-ideological lines, handed a win to defendant Joseph Fisher, who is among hundreds of J6 defendants, including Donald John Trump, who have been charged with obstructing an official proceeding over the efforts. The court concluded that the law enacted in 2002 as part of Sarbanes-Oxley Act after the Enron accounting scandal was only intended to apply to more limited circumstances involving forms of evidence tampering, not much broader array of situations. And they got a picture of Joseph there inside there. So is that good or bad for Trump here?
Good for Trump. Yeah. So 2 of Jack Smith's charges are now null and void. Because that's 2 of the charges where those are obstruction. Obstruction, they're saying, only takes place once an investigation begins. And an investigation, not a formal one, an investigation can begin if an incident happens here and I try to stop the cops from coming in or fucking kick evidence across the room or whatever, right? That would be obstruction. Once their eyeballs are on it, it becomes obstruction, right? But just doing the thing itself is not obstruction. That's just a meaningless charge. So 2 of the charges Trump has are gone now. Who it really matters for are the about 1,000 people who are charged with this right now that haven't been convicted or tried yet. Right. So It matters for them. It also matters for the 50 people who have been convicted of it, 27 of whom are in fucking federal prison right now. 50 people whose only charge was this obstruction charge, and 27 of them are in federal prison right now. 27 people should be released immediately as soon as this makes its way through the fucking courts.
Attorney General Merrick Garland just released a statement. He said that he was disappointed by the decision because of the impact it would have on the Justice Department's January 6 cases, although he stressed it would not affect the bulk of them. The ruling limits an important federal statute that the department has sought to use to ensue that those most responsible for that attack face appropriate consequences. So in this particular case with this guy, Fisher joining the crowd, breaching the Capitol from the east side, charge, he yelled again and again, allegedly, before pushed forward toward a police line while yelling, "motherfuckers." That's fun. At least you get to hear that in court, and that's in there for forever, you know?
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, this is an elevating charge, not an elevating charge, escalating charge, but an attack, like an add-on charge. For a lot of the people that got charged with shit, like if you just charge them with one thing, they'll be like, "Fuck you, I didn't do that."
Yeah.
But if you charge them with 5 things, they'll plead down to something. So it's definitely like he's Garland is bluffing right now. It fucks up most of their cases against these outstanding people. This additional 1,200 people that they're trying to charge with stuff, most of them are that.
By the way, breaking news right now regarding the rest of these cases. Supreme Court is poised to rule on Trump's presidential immunity case on Monday.
Yep.
So on fake news, we should have that answer that afternoon. I'm fully expecting that to be tossed. because he was sitting president at that time and not a candidate. So it'll be interesting. It'd be a large string of wins in a row for Trump heading into 4th of July. And I can imagine every beach you're going to be on is going to be drinking some hard AF, having a goddamn American flag in their hand, and butt fucking without lube. Right? Now's the point in the show we get to the Drinkin' Bro of the Week. Who's back there who wasn't here last night? Who wants to come on up? Come on up, dude. Play the music for this gentleman as he walks on down. Boom. While he's coming up, go to drinkinbros.com and get some sweet merch. Get a bro box. We got brand new t-shirts in there. That Convicted Felon 2024 shirt is going off right now. And also, you can submit for Drinkin' Bro of the Week, and it'll get emailed directly to us live on air, or you can come into the studio and rage with us, and you just get to come up and sit with us. What's your name?
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah.
Strong name, Andy. Strong name. Look at you. You beaver dipping it, dude?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you put an eagle claw in there?
Maybe.
Where are you from?
Kansas.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
All right. Goddamn, dude. Small town?
No, state capital.
What is it?
Topeka.
Oh, Topeka. Fuck. Yeah. I've never been to Kansas.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
All right, cool. Yeah, I figured. Bob hates it, so that was good enough for me. Bob hates Kansas.
Just head north up 35. You'll go through it.
Okay, and it's just kind of there.
Yeah, I mean it's an all right place.
Yeah, I've never been.
Yeah,
never been. Who do you want to give Drinkin' Bro of the Week to?
Give to my buddy back there. He's the one that turned me on to you guys. From I don't know. I think I started around episode 50.
Oh shit.
So,
goddamn. What's his name?
Trey.
Trey, what up, Trey? Throw a hand up, Trey, so I can see you back there. There it is. There's big Trey back there.
So,
yeah. And you guys drove down just for this, or are you guys partying in Austin this weekend?
I've got some work shit. I've got my retirement seminar coming up tomorrow. So, drove down. We met since the Army let me choose wherever I go to. I saw that there was one in Austin and figured this would...
No shit.
So we made a trip out of it. And
that's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
How many hard AFs have you had today?
It's number 4.
Somebody driving?
Uber. Uber.
That's good. Homeboy who walked in earlier came up to me and he goes, "Hey, man, can I get a pic?" I was like, "Yeah, of course, man." And he goes, "I'm super fucked up."
He was half in the bag already.
Yeah. And he goes, "Man, if I stay, I'm worried about getting a DWI." And I was like, I'm worried about it right now. Right now, friends. So that's hilarious. So, thanks for coming, man. We greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Anybody else back there that wants to cruise on up today? Does Trey want to come up?
Trey, get up here.
Are you allowed to? Is Trey allowed to? I don't want to fuck up his job.
He's not that.
All right, Trey, come on up. There it is. Boom. Yeah, dude. You can tell Trey breathes hard and fucks tough. Come on in, buddy. Come on in, Trey. Yeah, there it is. Put that thing about an inch from your face. Come on. There you go, big guy. There you go. Welcome to the show, Trey.
Yeah.
How long you been listening?
I picked up like episode 30.
Oh, shit. For real?
Yeah.
God damn, that's awesome,
So
man.
it's been a minute.
Okay. That's rad. And you're from Kansas as well?
Yep.
Awesome. You guys drove down together?
Yep.
Cool. Who do you want to give Drinkin' Bro of the Week to?
I really don't know. I don't know. I don't really have one in mind. I wasn't planning on.
Oh, come on. Who inspired you or helped you become the man you are today?
Probably my grandfather.
There you go.
Yeah. Share a love of baseball. It's got me into that.
Who's your team?
I'm a Red Sox fan.
Are you really?
Yep.
All right. You ever been to Fenway?
I have not.
I went once for a TV shoot, but it was in the off season.
Yeah.
So I never got to sit in the stands and enjoy a game. That's on my bucket list.
Yep, mine too.
Yeah. I'd love to go to Fenway Park. It's beautiful on the inside, and it's amazing just because of the history and everything else. But, I shot it in like the fucking dead of January. It was cold as shit in there.
Right.
But it was still cool to look at. I just obviously didn't get to go to a game. But I'm with you, dude. I want to go.
Yeah, that'd be badass.
All right. Well, you hit us. I tell you what, we got a ticketing company. Hit us up if you're heading up to Boston, and just DM us, and we'll throw you some Red Sox tickets.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. So let us know if you ever make the trip out there, and we'll try to hook you up.
Cool.
How many hard AF seltzers deep are you right now?
3 or 4.
Okay, good. And you're in the same Uber as he is?
Yep.
Thank God. Thank God. All
Yep.
right. His homeboy, I don't know if that guy killed a bunch of people on the way home. Or, I'm kidding. He was fine.
Yeah.
Fine-ish. Who knows? Who knows? Appreciate you tuning in, kids. Go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify. It's just a 5-star, and you can walk away. For D'Anthony and Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros Podcast. Good night, everyone.